Not too sure why, but I've been thinking a lot about how we now have the ability to toggle every event in Don't Starve Together's history on and off at will. I don't know if the potential of that is only just hitting me now or what. However, we have clearly seen the massive benefits of turning on some of these, like the increased gobbler spawns of the Year of the Gobbler and the hound taming capabilities within the Year of the Varg. So it got me all thunking again. Would keeping Hallowed Nights on for the Mad Scientist Lab provide some similar boost to gameplay? And are the 6 Mad Science experiments actually worth it in the long run? Or are they what they're meant to be? That being seasonal event gimmicks. And I think we'll find that they're a bit of both, with a couple really amazing outliers at the end of the day, like the Lunar experiment here. We will have to venture to the Lunar Island to obtain the materials needed to craft them, of course, but not only do both Loon Tree Blossoms and Moon Moth Wings come from the very same source, the Lunar experiment is quite unique in that crafting one has a chance to become 2 or 3. 50% of the time, but one will shoot out of the lab. 30% of the time, we will get 2 potions for our troubles. And lastly, 20% of the time, 3's company. So easy to amass? Check. Incredibly useful? Double check. For you see, lunar experiments can turn normal butterflies into moon moths for more experiments potentially. Some oddly decent sanity foods, as I have to remember how quickly moon moths die on their own. And even the mothling pet at the end of the day. But things get oh so much better as we can turn basic flowers into loon trees, and I am not kidding when I say this, loon trees are some of the best things in this entire game. Straight up normal light bulbs that can be harvested in the hundreds with ease can be potentially made into straight up armies of very useful bulbous light bugs. If you've got dragon fruit, you can create an entirely different army full of ripe salamanders for an eventual leafy meat farm, when they return to normal mind you, or for great defense, as these guys are tough little sons of guns, or simply a petting zoo. But speaking of leafy meats, we can do the exact same thing, but with carrots becoming carrats, of course, so don't forget it. Normal hounds become horror hounds, and this is of note, as horror hounds not only have less health than others, making them easier to kill, they drop a guaranteed 2 hound teeth, which is far better odds than most hounds out there. All spider types become shattered spiders, but this is definitely a lesser note for sure. And to continue on that note, pangolins of the world will mutate too, which won't mean much beyond them being more aggressive. However, you will have to catch them to even think about doing this, which is not going to be easy. And finally, we can turn normal saplings into lunar saplings and light flowers to bulbous light bug flowers, both of which won't be doing a lot for us because we have other alternatives out there. But all in all, I'd say the lunar experiment already gives us reason to have Hallowed Nights on at all times moving forward, and we're still missing the Arboretum here. Now it might be costly, requiring a living log for a single potion, but with Battleless Wings dropping more than ever now, I'd say it's still worth it. And besides, if you haven't guessed it yet, the Arboretum experiment is all about planting and growing our very own totally normal trees, because totally normal trees do not regrow naturally. It's going to take some time, however, and that goes for all stages at that. But stick out the just under 2 days per stage and wait out the very final stage here, and you will have 2 options to make it all mean something. Number 1, decorating your unique trees Halloween style, or number 2, chopping them down and digging their stumps up for a net of 2 living logs per experiment. Are they the best living log farms out there? Absolutely not. But if you have the Battleless Wings, why not? And you know, I suppose that's the biggest question about these toggleable events nowadays. Why not just have them on as options? I mean, without Hallowed Nights, we would have no use for mosquitoes, but with it, we can make Sanguine experiments all day long. Heck, we even have a 33% chance to make a canteen of Sanguine mixture per craft too, which will make the upcoming health gains even better. For you see, flasks of Sanguine will instantly restore 8 health before regenerating an additional 30 over a minute of time, which is already not bad. But canteens will initially restore 20 health before that very same 30 health over 1 minute regeneration effect. As a bonus, Wormwood can even regen health health with these two, which makes it all better. 1 mosquito and 1 red mushroom for 38 to 50 health a pop. Sounds good to me. The Psychosis experiments, however, are not gonna match the Sanguines, even if they're trying to do the same thing, but with our sanities instead. And why is that? Well, because they are far more expensive with materials that aren't as easy to get and get often. That's why. Still, this is technically a guide on mad science anyways, so here's the gist. We have a 33% chance to create a tumbler full of psychic fortitude over a dram of the stuff, and while drams will instantly restore 5 sanity before regenerating an additional 30 over 1 minute, tumblerfuls will initially restore 15 before regenerating 30 more over time. They're fine regens, they're just locked behind a bad recipe. But now comes the reasons for ignoring mad science, everybody. The quote-unquote worthless experiments. Now that's somewhat harsh, as these final two do have uses. But in the grand scheme of things, bruisophobic abatement and or abrogation can't be outright ignored, even if you do roll the 33% chance at the latter. But what do either of these experiments do, you ask? Well, you know them totally normal bats that will occasionally jump scare us during Hallowed nights, while out there chopping trees or digging through chests, mind you. Yeah, these experiments will negate them for 4 to 6 minutes, simply so that we don't lose time or 10 sanity whenever the bats do fly. And that's it. But if we're talking the true lowlights of Hallowed Nights, nothing beats our last mad scientist lab experiment of the day, the sulfuric crystals. There's a 50-50 chance we get crystals of lime or crystals of saltpeter at the cost of rotten eggs, charcoal, and 10 sanity, which, by the way, every experiment costs in case you didn't notice. And said crystals will make our fires produce a different particle effect. And yes, that's all they truly do. Lime crystals will make fires bubbly, while saltpeter makes the flames high into the sky. They're great fuels, but remember how I asked if these were simply seasonal gimmick things? Yeah, to be fair, some of them absolutely are for sure, but 3 out of the 6 carry the team and do it very well in my opinion. As I said prior, keeping Hallowed Nights on for the Lunar potions alone should be considered from here on out. But thanks for coming to my TED Talk / guide on mad science, everyone, and I hope you're starting to come around on the idea of playing with the events on. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.